Have you figured out your niche? Are you helping adding value to other people's lives? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to Munira's Musings with your host, co-author of Conversations with Top Real Estate Investors Volume 3, Munira Zahabi.
Awesome.
Greetings from Chicagoland. Welcome to another edition of Munira's Musings. Our guest today is all the way from Connecticut, Kadish. Hi, Tina.
Hi, Munira. Thank you so much for having me on today.
You are welcome. Thank you so much for coming onto my show. This show is all about niches and the people who found their niches. It's amazing, isn't it, when you find that true love that you have for how to help other people. And when you find it, it's like finding a diamond in the rough. And this show is just there to help acknowledge those people's journeys, those people who have walked through and come out across just showing people what they love to do. And this is all about them celebrating their journeys, celebrating their niches, and finding out a little bit about them. Because if we don't know what they went through, and if we come across that, how do we overcome these difficulties? They may seem difficulties at the time, but at other times it may seem like, hey, I overcome that. So let me help people just by sharing that story. So without further ado, let's bring Tina Kadish. Hi, Tina. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so thank you so much. So I started my journey years ago when I got laid off and began to really figure out what I wanted to do. I was in training and development. And when I got laid off, I just didn't know what my brand was going to be. Who was I? I was always working for a job. And I found myself in an uncomfortable situation. I had never been laid off. And so I started networking and to try to figure out what was going to be my brand. What was I going to do for the rest of my life? I needed clarity. I needed some direction. I just didn't have that at the time. So I embarked on my journey, and through networking, which is so powerful, I met some great people, and I learned of a tool that I now coach my clients on discovering their passions. And I found this as my niche, that I help other women, professional women particularly, who are in a corporate job and they're stuck because they're in a job, they may not love it. They wake up every day miserable, unfulfilled, no joy, no peace, burnt out. And that's where I was. So when I got laid off, it was actually a blessing because I was starting to feel that burnt out and unfulfillment. So sometimes things happen for us because they're meant to be. And I firmly believe in that. So I coach women now to get clarity around their careers, their life in general. Where do they want to go? For me, the tool helped me that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So my niche is professional women, corporate professional women, are stuck in their jobs and want something more. But I also help entrepreneurs to up-level their business, to figure out how to improve their relationship with money, how to grow their business, and being free. I'm a freedom strategist, and for me, it's all about how can you be free from your job, free from in your business. How can you do more, be more productive, and get rid of the overwhelm and being more productive. So I figured out that was my niche.
So that's wonderful. But it took all of this to come into play. It took for you to lose your job, right?
Yes. Yes, it did.
So let me go back. When you had the job, did you ever, I know you were tired, you were working, and there were days when you didn't want to get out of bed and say, oh, another day of work. You had to work 40 hours a day. You got to work more than 8 hours. So it's 5 days of your life that you kept going to this place that made you sometimes miserable. I say sometimes because there are some days when you just have fun. But so let me ask you this. Had you ever thought about the fact that I need to become an entrepreneur? I want to start my own business.
No. While I was working, I didn't. When I didn't. And it was something that when I was in training and development, there were people that were coming up to me because I was, delivering training. They would come up to me and say, have you ever thought about being a coach? And at the time, I didn't know what that meant, being a coach. So I started to investigate, research, life coaching, business coaching, but I didn't do anything. I was going day after day. It was a, 8-hour, actually, I was commuting to New York City from Connecticut. So it was an hour and a half each way. So that was a lot of my time. And I didn't really have the time to research something else. So you're right. If it wasn't for losing my job, I probably wouldn't, I could still be there and being unhappy, tired, because sometimes we just stay stuck. We're complacent. We just don't know what to do. And we don't take action. We get comfortable.
Yes.
To make a change.
Exactly where I'm going with this. So when you lost your job, and I'm sure this was like a downsizing, or we have to downsize, one of you have to go and you are one of them. And it happened. So how long before you found this niche that you are? And how, that rut, right? You were worried, oh, I have to go look for my job. The first thing I know that women and us in that situation do is update our resume, which we haven't touched in a while, right?
Yes, right away they do. Well, what I started doing, I started networking. I did some contract work, some temp work. I also went into network marketing. I did a couple of things with that. So I also collected unemployment. I had a great severance package. So a year and a half that I was really on this journey to figure out, and started networking, meeting people and getting mentors, working with mentors. So it was about a year and a half before I really figured out this tool that I coach women on now. It was through meeting people. And I met this woman who was a certified facilitator of this tool called the Passion Test. So it was a journey. It didn't happen overnight. And I continued to figure out what is it that I want. And so when I took this tool, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. This tool helps you to identify 5 most important things to focus on. And one of the things was to be an entrepreneur. And I wanted to transform other women's lives, that to be happy with what they're doing, to have that clarity. And that resonated with me. And so I started to work with people with this tool while, when I was laid off. But I still did some temp work. So I didn't completely do nothing. I was really working with people and really started in networking and working with clients to build my business, Life is Ideal, during this whole transition.
So your business is Life is Ideal?
Yes. So the name of my business is Life is Ideal. Yes.
Wonderful. So that's awesome, right? And that's what anybody would start doing in any situation where they lose their comfort level. And that's when we become uncomfortable and we start working on how to update our resume, go network, let's go figure out what everybody else is doing. It's amazing that we are not doing it while we are in a job, right? We don't think about those hard times when we are complacent.
Absolutely. And that is something that is so, I see that with a lot of people as I'm meeting people, they are just stuck in their mindset that they don't see something more. And I was there. I, had the scarcity, the fear of the unknown. But if it wasn't from being laid off, I would have stayed there, most likely, because I had the fear of the unknown, the fear of, I just didn't know what I didn't know. A lot of times we just don't know what to do to take action. We don't have that clarity.
Yeah, that's true, because we don't know. But, it makes a lot of sense now that you are helping women be proactive and helping them see what potential they have now, right?
Yes.
It's amazing that now you and I are in kind of the same industry. We see people doing not exactly the same thing, but different things. But we see the potential in people. And what we try to do is say, you know what, you can do this. How about working around this? And we can see the path clearly, only they don't see it.
Exactly.
And that's what happens in life, is because we tend to have blinders on, like the horse, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have blinders on, we don't see. And to me, it's like we need to have a chameleon vision where we can see it all 360 going around. What advice do you give women in this situation who are working, who think they are tired of their job? Oh, I can't do this anymore. And I think this happens when we as women are tired. And I think most of us women start feeling antsy is the word, I think, is when our kids are off to college, and we work the same job for about 15 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and this could be the situation. And then we start thinking, oh, I need to do something else. Oh, but I don't know what to do. So what advice would you give?
Well, the advice I would have is to start researching what is it that you want to do. Like, figure out your why. You know, why do you want to do something? And what is it that you want to do? You know, try to, do a brain dump. I want to do this. Like, write things down, what you want to do, what excites you. Write down some of your strengths. There's so many tools online that you can look into. Do some research. I would also recommend, for me, mentors like ourselves, coaches. There's coaches out there, and some people might say, well, I don't have the budget. I don't have the money to get a coach. Well, you have to ask yourself, what is the cost of not doing it, not making a change? Because when we stay stuck in something, nothing's going to change. So if we continue to do the same thing over and over again, we've heard this before, it's insanity. You expect results, but you're not doing anything different. So at least every day, do something more to go towards your goal. Believing in yourself, like really having the mindset, okay, that you can do it, having that faith in yourself and taking action. If it's something small, I have somebody right now that is in a corporate job, and they've reached out to me. They've been at my workshops. She works at a corporate job, makes good money, and wants out. Now, she's not laid off. She's in a job and has already figured out that she wants something more. Her kids are growing. She wants more. So what is she doing? She's starting to network. She's starting to research. She reached out to me. We had a conversation. Do something to help you, because you need support. You can't do it alone. You need guidance. You need direction. And don't isolate yourself to think that you can do it all, because you can't. You can't be on this island all by yourself and do nothing.
Okay, wonderful. So I have a question, and
Okay.
this sounds stupid. Yes, I know a lot of people around the world commute, right? You said you worked in New York, but you commuted from Connecticut.
Connecticut, yes.
Okay.
I did.
So you said 1.5 hour commute. What did you do during the commute?
I did a lot of reading. All right. I was on my phone. I would be on the internet. I did a lot of reading. I did a lot of self-help reading, started to really reach out to motivational speakers. One of them that I really followed for years was Jack Canfield. And actually the tool that I use today, he used this tool, and it helped him to transform his business. So I've been following him for years, and I did get to see him in person a couple years ago. That really, I think, propelled me more to really focus on my business more. It's because I was doing it part-time and working full-time. And here's the thing that I want to share with everybody. I did go back and get another job while working my business part-time. But last year was when I finally exited corporate. Finally, on my own terms. I was a corporate recruiter. I did it for 11 years. So I've been working on my business for a while, building it up, and then working full time. And so my advice to all of you is you got to have a plan, save money, get a coach, mentor, start taking action every time, start building your business. You can't just quit your job. So I got laid off and I started my business, but then because fear crept in, and I went back to get the job again. Okay. So yeah, so fear is huge. That was me. And I know a lot of your people out there that are listening to this, fear is huge. That keeps us from moving forward. And so, but last year I finally said, enough is enough. I'm going to make it work. And it's been now a year and a month. And having faith in yourself, taking action every day. It's not going to come to you. You have to go out there and get it. If you want something, how bad do you want it? Here's the thing too. How much pain are you in? I believe that how much pain you're in will help you to make a decision. Now,
it comes with a price tag. But the thing is, you have to first understand who you want to work with,
yes.
why you work with this person, and if you work and resonate. There's been coaches that I've worked with, looked at, not worked with, but looked at, only to be turned away because I didn't believe in their message, or I didn't like what they were saying to me or to anybody else, because maybe I need some hand holding, somebody who is going to just push me gently instead of somebody who's going to push me over the coals like Tony Robbins does, right?
Yes.
So, you have to figure it out. And there's a lot of us out there, because this is now a new generation, a new generation of business that's coming up, and everybody needs some kind of help.
And you know what? It goes back to your why. It's got to be very powerful that every day that you're going to have challenges, obstacles that come in and that are going to distract you. We have distractions. And like you said earlier, people will say, I have no time. What are you doing with your time? Keep a journal. Like, where are you spending your time? Can you devote 15 minutes every day to doing something towards your goals? Because if you track your time, see where your time is going. Are you spending a lot of time on social media? Is it producing anything? Are you spending a lot of time on the phone? Are you spending a lot of time watching TV that's producing nothing for you? So start tracking where your time is. We all have the same amount of time, but it's how are you spending your time? Is it productive?
True, very true. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, how do people find you, Tina?
So my website is lifeisideal.com. It's https://www.lifeisideal.com. I'm also on Facebook. My business page is Life is Ideal as well. You can reach out to me there. My email is tkadishcoach@gmail.com as well. And, I offer a 30-minute complimentary clarity session where we can have a conversation. It's just a conversation so that I can direct you to some resources, possibly work with me. Like you said earlier, working with other coaches, you have to find the right person. I have worked with coaches and that have not produced results for me. And then I found other coaches that did. So it is working with the right person. They all have a specialty, okay? And I help entrepreneurs, existing entrepreneurs, to grow their business. But if you're contemplating entrepreneurship, you don't have that clarity, I can start with the tool, the passion test. And that's all on my website, all my videos, also on my business page. You'll see a lot of information about there as well. You can get my free offer, which is a 7-step blueprint to achieving freedom in your life and business. Take advantage of that. You can get on my email list that way as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so very much. And I appreciate it. Thank you for watching, all of you. If you have a niche and want to be on my show, go ahead and contact me. Otherwise, please, if you like this, go ahead, share, like, and subscribe, because here's a few nuggets that we've shared and more to come. Who knows? We could change your life or something. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Munira. Thank you so much for having me. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Munira's Musings with your host, Munira Zahabi. If you enjoyed our show, please share and subscribe to this channel. And for more content, please join our Facebook group